Everybody, welcome to the PWZ podcast. Apparently, we're starting off with some technical difficulties. This is the Professor Rick Del Santo. Today, I am joined by the Guardian of Chaos and Talkin Tommy. We're going to be talking about this Wednesday evening, FITE TV, Paradise Alley presents Wild Wild Wrestling. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Thank you, Professor.
Thanks for having me, Professor. It's great to be back on the PWZ with my broadcast partner, the lady-loving Talkin Tommy. Let him know, Tommy, out there in PWZ podcast land. And thanks for everyone tuning in out there on YouTube.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a rainy, very cloudy and rainy Monday, but your Monday evening is now officially blessed by the presence of yours truly, the good-looking, lady-loving Talkin Tommy.
Well, of course, this Wednesday we have a huge show. FITE TV, Paradise Alley returns to FITE TV with Wild Wild Wrestling. Adonis is in the chat. Hello, Adonis. He's been missing in action at the live events.
Well, welcome to the show, Adonis. Doesn't get better than PWZ. Professor, we have a huge show coming up. We're only 2 days away from the iconic venue of the Cadillac Ranch. Let's get into it, guys. Professor, lead us down that road. There's going to be 10, count them, 10 big matches that have been announced, and there's going to be plenty of surprises. This is a 21 and over show. It's a hardcore show. It is our second event, Talkin Tommy, together on FITE TV for Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. What are your thoughts here? 10 big matches at the Cadillac Ranch. We're going to saddle up and mosey on down to the K-Rail, huh?
Well, it's going to be historic because, we're going to be at the Cadillac Ranch for the very first time. We are back live on FITE TV. Say that again, live. It's about time we're back live on FITE TV. So very excited. We've got a lot of surprise, a lot of big names, big matches. And again, it's historic because also it's our first hardcore event. So for the first time, we kind of get our little inner ECW going on here at this show Wednesday night. So I'm very excited, and of course, to be back with you, Big Daddy, my broadcast colleague, my tag team partner, my mentor at that, and of course, my old buddy. So very excited.
Thank you, Talkin Tommy. I greatly appreciate that. Hey, listen, Talkin Tommy, I may be helping you along here to get your feet wet, but you have, since our last appearance on FITE TV, which was last year for the Rumble in Paradise, your career in the broadcasting, sports journalist, commentary area has really grown by leaps and bounds. And you're doing not only baseball, but I also heard breaking news here on the PWZ with the Professor Rick Del Santo. I also heard you will be expanding, not only doing professional wrestling and college baseball. Can you enlighten the fans out there, for the lady-loving fans, that what you'll be doing coming up this season in regards to sports?
Yeah, when I return to Albertus for my sophomore year this fall, I will not only be the voice of Albertus baseball, I will be the voice of all Albertus athletics. So I am taking over, doing pretty much covering every sport, whether it's with broadcasting, whether it's with PA announcing, whatever it is, my voice will be heard for every sport event at Albertus, every home game we've got. So the people there are gonna certainly know my name and certainly know who the hell Talkin Tommy is.
Yeah, congratulations, Talkin Tommy. Congratulations.
Before we get any further, I do want congratulations, Tommy. Sorry about that. Before we get any further, Nutrius X is in the chat, and I want to say thank you very much for tuning in.
That's beautiful.
I want to actually take a second to acknowledge Nutrius X for a big return. A couple weeks ago, Empire Pro Wrestling went one-on-one with, in my book, it was a 5-star match. Him and Montekia, they went one-on-one, went toe-to-toe, back and forth, and it was Nutrius's first match in, probably maybe 2 years, we're talking, pre-pandemic was the last time I think we saw Nutrius X in a wrestling ring. And man, Nutrius, you did not miss a beat, my friend. You stellar performance as always. You look great. You look like you haven't even been gone. So good to have you back in the ring. It was great to see you and Montekia go at it.
That was a fantastic match. I had the honor of calling the action for that match. It was very, very good match.
Excellent. Yeah. Nutrius X is an unbelievable talent. He's the former King of Paradise, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe that Nutrius X was also the Alley Fights champion at one time. And he's been involved in incredible matchups. So it's good to see X back on the scene. So a big shout out, X. Thanks for being here. PWZ, Professor, if you will, let's get into wild wrestling at the Cadillac Ranch. I'm ready. Tommy, are you ready, brother?
I would say I was born ready because I was really born in a hospital, but yeah, I'm ready.
That is this Wednesday night, FITE TV. If you can't make it, it's $9.99 on FITE TV. So
Professor, wait, hold on. It's how much?
$9.99.
It's only $9.99 on FITE TV.
Correct.
2014 flashbacks of the WWE Network. Thank you.
Wow.
It's funny you said that because I started to sing that. Yes. There's going to be a lot of great matches involved for this event. HOP will be there. Correct.
Wrestling at its finest.
Yep. We do have most of the card. Am I correct, Professor? We do have most of the lineup, and we can go through this.
Correct.
We have most of the lineup, short of a few surprises. I did talk to the owner of Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling before we came on, and one Mario Mancini. And Mario did let me know, wanted me to let the fans know that living legend Kevin Sullivan, due to travel arrangements, will not be at the Cadillac Ranch. That's why it says on the bottom of the poster right behind me for Wild Wrestling, card subject to change. So Kevin Sullivan will not be there to escort Andrew Anderson, the enforcer, a.k.a. the New Age Purple Haze. So I just want to throw that out there with the fans. We're still waiting on some announcements and travel arrangements, but card subject to change. So just to throw it out there for the fans at Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling.
Correct. Let's see. There will be. They'll take it on Mark Alexander and MIT. I have a feeling they're going to get squashed.
Mark Alexander is a fantastic competitor. We just saw him this past Saturday at Power Play actually pick up a big victory over Zachariah Gibbs. And he's a tough competitor. He's very feisty. MIT, he's a very smart man, very smart in the ring. But, this is their first time teaming together. So I don't know how the chemistry is going to go. And, of course, HOP, they're beyond chemistry. Like I said, tag team wrestling. And, that's all they do. They are tag team wrestling. They are everything you would want from a powerhouse tag team, a dominant tag team, longest reigning tag champs in Paradise Alley, 3-time champs, potentially a 4th coming. You never know. So I'm certain that they've got their eyes on the Hispanic Mechanics to get those tag titles back at some point. So gonna be a good match, honestly, though. Very excited. But yeah, Mark and MIT, look out, because
well, I'll say that to say this, Professor and Talkin' Tommy, because I tell it like it is. Let's be honest. Anyone that steps in the ring has talent, especially in Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. MIT, smart, intellectual Tavius in fantastic shape, a young lion, Mark Alexander with what I consider an upset victory over Zack Gibbs. Just my opinion, because Gibbs is as ornery as a pig in a pig pen, if that makes sense. And let's be honest about the HOP. Alexander and MIT have no chance in hell against the House of Pain. Their house, their rules, 3-time tag team champions. They're both well over 300 pounds. Are you kidding me? Have you seen the size of the arms on Hakim Ali? There's no way the HOP goes down against Mark Alexander and MIT. That's just my opinion, Professor.
Big Daddy, I got to cut you off because you talk about the size of the arms of Hakim Ali, but you also got to talk about. See, I'm all about being good looking, lady loving. That's my thing, you know. And I got to tell you, Nick Payne. I don't know who his barber is, but that is one fine beard that he's got a perfectly shaped beard. I mean, Big Daddy, he might put your facial hair out of business. So
well, we know that I make onions cry. I get it, Tommy.
The enforcer is in the chat. He says 12 matches per Mr. Mancini.
Well, enforcer, Kevin Sabin, if you will, the saber-toothed tiger, my former broadcast partner at Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, from father to son. It's generational. It's traditional in PAPW. That's why we said, enforcer, that there's a couple of matches that have not been announced. There's going to be some huge announcements on FITE TV at the Cadillac Ranch. We don't have everything. Mancini's not going to tell us everything. Well, wait, hold on there. After we talk about the New York Magazine later, maybe he will tell everything. I'm just saying, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet, but go to New York Magazine, the New Yorker, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Let's get on to something else. Thank you, Kevin Sabin, the enforcer.
I want to say thank you to Northeast legend Bull Dread for also tuning in tonight.
Goodbye.
Yeah, there you go, buddy.
The New England Beast, the hardcore legend, in my opinion, soon to be someday a Hall of Famer in this area. And if anyone is hardcore, a local legend, especially here in the Northeast Tri-State New England area, and at the Cadillac Ranch, let me tell you something. Dread, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, is in the main event at Wild Wild Wrestling.
That's true, and he's going up against another man who knows a thing or two about being hardcore in Mr. Ryan Frost. So this is going to be Big Daddy, this might be a bloody war we might see coming in the main event at Wild Wild Wrestling.
Well, it's definitely a fight. There's no two ways about that. Ryan Frost, the former tag team partner of the one and only, rest in peace, Big Jim Anderson, the Humidor. So it's going to be an unbelievable main event. Ryan Frost goes at about 6'2", probably about 260 pounds. Dread is 6 feet tall, probably in the best shape of his career. I just saw him in an unbelievable bout against former WWE worker and owner of Test of Strength. That would be one Slick Wagner Brown, two local legends meeting up. So that right there, Dread and the Humidor Ryan Frost, a hardcore match, no rules, Professor. I believe that's going to be all over the iconic venue there at the Cadillac Ranch. And for fans who don't know, and then I'll shoot it back over to the Professor, the Cadillac Ranch is an iconic venue. There's been wrestling in that event here in New England, Northeast, and at that venue for years. Everything from the micro stars, the midgets, to I performed there in the past with ECW stars Jason Knight, Homicide, Joel Gertner, Kevin Landry. It really is an unbelievable venue, and maybe we'll, have a little something to eat, toss a few back. Who knows what's going? Maybe we'll ride the mechanical bull.
Trent says in the chat, the Cadillac Ranch was his very first match, and I haven't been in the building since. It's been 21 years. Was that Jason Knight's ACW back in the day running there?
Either Assault Championship Wrestling or Acid Championship Wrestling. Dread and I go back like a recliner. We go back like 8 tracks. I mean, we really do.
This could be a little bit of a homecoming then for Bull Dread.
I expect Dread probably to be with the rising star, ringside Gemma. Gemma will probably be ringside. I'm not sure. Maybe not. Depends. But I know she's been escorting Dread to the ring here in the local area. So it's going to be nice to see homegrown talent. And that's going to be, as I said, Professor and Tommy, that's a Haas fight. We got ahead of ourselves. That will be the main event. But it may not be the main event, because remember, Mancini and the Paradise Four are always dropping bombs and dropping surprises. You know what they say? Telecommunications, telephone, telemarketer, telewrestler, Paul Roma, Paul Perez, Big Dave Paradise, Mario Mancini, the Paradise Four, here in the shadows of Titan Towers. It doesn't get much better than that. And I'm going to say that to say this. Fuck Chris Cruz. How about that, Professor Kelsey? Fuck Chris Cruz for putting Paradise Alley Wild Wrestling in one of the worst posters that he put on his website. Chris Cruz, we're going to find you. And we're going to say hello. Why don't you come down to the Cadillac Ranch? How about that, Chris Cruz?
Just for reference, Chris Cruz has voted the poster as part of his bad indie posters collection for this coming event. I didn't think it was that bad.
And that's okay. You're entitled to your opinion, but come on down and say hello. Maybe we can get you in the ring, Christopher. I respect everybody's opinion.
Well, it's like
It's coming from
Daddy. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has them.
No, that's very true, Talkin, Tommy. That's very, very true. But again, that's the main event. Professor, what else do we have lined up? Because I know there's grapplers coming from all over the Northeast New England tri-state area. We have former ECW guys, former WCW guys. It's gonna be an event.
We've got HC Loke taking on former ECW World Champion Justin Credible. Look at that. HC Loke, a former ECW referee and mainstay with ECW for many, many years. Then moving on in the last few years, becoming making his way through the ring as a wrestler for the last 10 years or so in pretty good fashion. And now he's meeting Justin Credible.
Well, before we get on to Talkin' Tommy, because I know he's always got something interesting to say, that's why he's Talkin' Tommy. I compare him to a young version of Hank Azaria in the TV series Brockmire. And if you've never been Brockmired, go out and check it out. It really is something. I have a pass with both those local legends. Of course, Justin Credible, former ECW world champion. He was Aldo Montoya in the WWE. He was a part of the clique with Billy Gunn, with Triple H, with Chyna, with Shawn Michaels, with X-Pac. And I worked a tag team match where I managed the Power Company from WCW back in the day. And Crippler Kevin Landry, who was on Superstars and Jacked in the WWE, he runs Shut Up and Wrestle right now. And we went up against Nick Barbary, former veteran from the WWE, Justin Credible when he was the ECW heavyweight champion, and of course, the former two-time champion, the legendary late, great Yokozuna. What a match that was. And yes, Justin Credible, not only did Yokozuna hit me with an oversized stop sign that was probably the size of my head, Justin Credible put the stop sign in between my legs and my privates, in the groin, if you will, and then caned me. I was singing soprano. That was my nutcracker, Professor, and Talkin' Tommy. So Justin Credible is legit. He's the real deal. Hopefully he's in good shape, because I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly here when I come on the show. And then, of course, HC Loke. Not only a referee in ECW, he was a part of the Baldies with Angel and Tough Tony DeVito and all the different guys that came through the Baldy area. And I worked many a show with HC Loke, and he's in great shape. So that match right there, especially if you went back 10, 15 years ago, could be a main event just about anywhere. And talk about no rules, extreme, hardcore. HC Loke and Justin Credible. It's going to be good to see some of the older guys, because what we have here at Wild Wrestling, Wild West Wrestling, whatever you want to call it, and then I'll throw it to Tommy, is we have the future, we have the present, and we have the past. And what do they say? Then, now, forever, together? Is that a copyright? I don't think so, man. Talk about brass balls. That's what you get at PAW.
From there, we got Showtime taking on RJ Roode. That's going to be an interesting match. Yeah, absolutely. I'm voting that match of the night already. Here we go. That's my match of the night.
Head Talkin' Tommy, take over on this one before I throw my 2 cents in, and I'll bring the hair club for men for Showtime. Although he looks good.
Well, Well, this is going to be an exciting match. RJ Roode, I've been following since the start of his career in Paradise Alley. Then he moved on over to Northeast Wrestling and started teaming with his old pal Zane Bernardo and Zanely Roode. They were NEW Tag Team Champions. And then a few months back, Zane Bernardo just decided that he was retiring, early retirement, I guess, decided to step away. So RJ Roode back in as a singles competitor. And he knows a thing or two. He's a former Intercontinental Champion in Paradise Alley. And so he made his return to PAPW back on April 30th at Point Blank. It was great to see him back. And so now he's officially back with us here in Paradise Alley. So I'm very excited to see him go toe-to-toe with Showtime Marcel Williams, one of the all-time best that Paradise Alley has ever had. And I'm not sure. This might be a first time for the two of them. This might be the first time they faced off. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Not sure if that's correct or not. But still overly very excited for these two to go at it. Very talented in the ring, and Professor might be onto something. This could definitely be match of the night.
Well, I think that excuse me, Big Guy. I'm sorry. I believe that according to Marcel, when I in a previous episode, that he has mentioned that they have wrestled each other before.
Professor,
there's our answer.
You are correct. They have been in the ring together before. Here's what I know about Showtime and RJ Roode. First off, let's talk about RJ and to talking Tommy's point. RJ is a multi-talent, not only in PAPW homegrown, not only in Northeast, one of the premier organizations in the country. He also was over with Zane in the UK. He's got extensive travel history. He's been in the ring with many stars for a young grappler. He's in tremendous shape. He's also, I can compare to a younger version of Chris Jericho. He's a grappler, a wrestler, a tag team champion, a world traveler, and he's got his own band. He was the pop punk kid. They were here down at the Cockeyed Crow right down the road. Let me tell you something. RJ Roode is a generational talent. It's good to see him back. Showtime's got his hands full. This is a match that could, again, be in the top or upper echelon for any organization in the country. And now let's get to Showtime, to what the professor said and to what Tommy alluded to. Not only has he become a premier podcaster, what Showtime and the professor do here on the PWZ, you guys have a highly entertaining, informative show. And it's good to get your view, Rick, as a historian, and then from a talent like Showtime, who has the psychology and the backstage management that he has done. And I'm not kayfabe at anything. It is what it is. I'm going to tell it like it is. And then his in-ring ability, let's just run through the resume. He's a KG veteran who's been around for quite some time. He's been in the ring with everybody that you can think of. He's in the best shape of his career, Showtime. He was the heavyweight champion. He was the Intercontinental Champion. He was the Alley Fights Champion. He was the inaugural Hercules Hernandez Memorial Tournament winner. I believe he won Rumble in Paradise. He's like a triple, quadruple, 5-star player. There is nothing that Showtime Marcel Williams has not done in this company. He is the premier athlete and perhaps the face of PAPW moving forward. I mean, I can't say enough about Showtime. I break his balls a lot. I work him when he's on here with the professor and their weekly spot and the shows that they do, but that's out of respect. And I couldn't respect Showtime more in what he adds to the business. He's a leader in the locker room, and that's what I say. And this is going to be a fantastic match. If you've looked what we talked about already, from Dredd and Ryan Frost in the main event, two monsters, two legends between, and I'll call them legends and veterans, between Just Incredible, Aldo Montoya, whatever you want to call him, and H.C. Loke from the Baldies. And now you go into Showtime, who's Mr. Everything, and R.J. Roode, who has grown faster than anybody perhaps in the last 5 years. 3 bangers right there, Professor and Talkin' Tommy.
I want to thank Fly Nine Noriega. He's got a comment here. If we are talking about Wild Wild Wrestling, then you should be talking about the flyest in the room. Of course, Fly Night is a part of that event taking on Sunset Steve Garcia.
And that's something Tommy would have a better insight on this because he's at more of the live events. That's what I could say about Talking Time to Sabin before I get on to Sunset Steve and Fly Night. Talking Tommy puts in the homework and the research like the Professor Rick Del Santo does here in PWZ. He's at every event. He's reporting, he's recording, he's a journalist, he's a broadcaster. And if there's anybody at his age that can encompass everything in the business, Talking Tommy is that person. I don't want to blow smoke up his ass, but let's get on to Fly Nye and Sunset Steve. I watched some of the video from PWZ from the last show on Power Play just a couple of days ago. And Sunset Steve Garcia has grown as fast as anybody in Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. He's got balls the size of grapefruits. The kid's in good shape. He's come a long way, and I got to give him credit. And has this whole fashion and heat between him and Fly Now. Now, Fly Now, very agile, mobile, nimble, hostile, like nimble as a minx. So these guys have a history that's, I think, runs from the old neighborhood. I think these guys maybe have something that goes back to the hood. I'm just telling you the rumors that I hear. They've gone at it before. This is going to be something. And I don't give a damn what anyone says. Don't cut Garcia or Fly Night short. Both of these guys have a thump game. Fly Night could talk all the shit he wants. He knows that when he gets in there with Sunset Steve Garcia, he's got his hands full. So I see the comments out there. You could say Sunset Sissy, Fly Night. It's all good, man. I respect you guys because you're in the ring. You better make sure that you don't cash a check. The old saying that your money, however it is that you can't cash, whatever the saying is against Sunset Steve. That's going to be a hell of a match.
It's going to be a tremendous match.
Very true.
What's that saying, Professor? You don't let your mouth cash.
Don't let your
What is that saying?
don't let your mouth write a check. Your ass can't cash.
Thank you, Tommy.
That's why I'm around, because when it comes to talking, no one does it like Talking Tommy.
Boy, between the two of us, Professor can't get in a word in edgewise.
I'm just a host. That's it. So that's quite all right. We've got the Paradise Alley Intercontinental Champion. He's taken on the legendary Andrew Anderson, the Purple Haze, if you will.
This is going to be a good match.
Yeah.
Obviously, Andrew Anderson.
Take this one first. Go ahead, Talking Tommy.
Andrew Anderson, obviously, a legend in professional wrestling, and then Lucas Chase, in my opinion, a legend in the making. This man is professional wrestling today. I like to call him Mr. 2022 because I don't think I've seen any wrestler around the world that has been as successful.
Tommy might have frozen.
Did I freeze?
You're good. I hear you just fine. I think Big Daddy's
Daddy that froze. He's frozen. But Lucas Chase, I've seen a lot of successful wrestlers here this year, but something about Lucas Chase has been very special. Even though he and I have our differences, I've felt his verbal insults before. They don't really hurt me though, because you can't hurt Talking Tommy. When you look this good and the ladies are all trying to get in bed with you, you don't get hurt.
Whoa.
You know what I mean, Big Daddy?
I get it to 21 and over show coming up, Talking Tommy.
Hey, Big Daddy, I'm a college student. Like, big man on campus, Big Daddy. Big man on campus.
Well,
no.
So the Cure Lucas Chase, very talented. Everything you'd want in a professional wrestler, you get with Lucas Chase. He looks the part. He talks the part. He's that 5-tool player. He's the PAPW Intercontinental Champion. He won Anytime Any Gold Gauntlet this year. He's the inaugural CPW Heavyweight Champion. He was the inaugural Rhodes Wrestling Academy Heavyweight Champion. He's been seen on AEW multiple times. It's a pleasure actually to, and if Lucas, if you're watching this, don't take this too kindly, but you're a pleasure. I like to think you're a pleasure to work with, even though, you might be a pain in my ass sometimes. You are a pleasure to work with because you are a very talented wrestler. And I wish nothing but the best for you that eventually we get to see you even bigger than you are right now. And this is going to be a great match. And Lucas Chase does have a big mouth that he's not afraid to use, and he already went to social media to acknowledge this match against Andrew Anderson. So he had a lot to say. So this is going to be. Let's hope, if Lucas Chase's ass can cash this check that his mouth wrote.
Well said, Talkin, Tommy. And again, your word means a lot and carries a lot of weight, and it should to the wrestling community, the IWC, if you will, because you are there ringside for the matches. And I'm going to say this. Lucas Chase is probably, again, I hate to say this because I've said it about other competitors, but it's true. He's in tremendous shape. He's got the breeding from the roads to AEW, to what he's doing locally and independently. He's the current champion there. He's the United States champion, Professor?
He's the Intercontinental champion.
Intercontinental champion of Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. So Lucas Chase, again, I can't mention it. The matches that we've talked about, this Lucas Chase and Andrew Anderson, the enforcer, if you will, the reinforcer, if you will, the new age purple haze, if you will. This could be a main event, again, anywhere. And I don't use that loosely. These are the talents. Tommy, I can't praise any more of what Talkin' Tommy said about Lucas Chase. He's humble. The guy is also a leader in the locker room. I've had a lot of interaction with him. I've called his matches along with Tommy. He really is a rising star, and I hope again to see him on AEW because he represents the company, Blood, Sweat, and Tears as well, and all the other local organizations. And he's a mainstay at Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. What an addition Lucas Chase is, and big props and respect out to Lucas. But with that being said, there is no other than Andrew Anderson. Not only is he an actor, a legend, a grappler who's been in the business for 25 years. He's been Ace Frehley from Kiss's bodyguard before. He's all over the country, a world traveler, has probably wrestled in and I would dare say a dozen different countries. He is a true legend, Andrew Anderson. I had a chance to recently, the last time I saw Andrew was at the class of 2019 New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame in FanFest 7, and got to hang out with LA Smooth and of course Mario and Roma and the Four Horsemen. It was unbelievable because Anderson will make you laugh. He could be a stand-up comic. He can be an actor, and he will brutalize you and kick your inside that ring. He is damn near 280 pounds, and at his age is in unbelievable shape. When they use the word legend, it applies to the purple haze. I know the original was Bob Roop with Kevin Sullivan, and reincarnated right now with Andrew Anderson. Again, go out and see him. He's been in TV, film. He's the most engaged person that perhaps I've ever met in pro wrestling. I can't say enough about this matchup and what's going to happen at the Cadillac Ranch for Wild Wild Wrestling. FITE TV. And Tommy, Professor,
Can I step in there for a second?
9.
You said that Bob Roop was the original Purple Haze. Am I mistaken that it was not Maniac Mark Lewin? Okay.
That's why you are the historian, because again, you know what Bully Ray Dudley said to me about years ago when he was the NWA World Tag Team Championships and we were on tour with the Oman Tortuga and Diablo Santiago, the Outcast Killers, when I took the West out. Not one of my finer moments. He said, give the Guardian of Chaos after that match 5 spots and he'll fuck up 4 of them. I consider that to be a compliment from a 2-time Hall of Famer on Busted Open Radio who's still active. I'm not offended by that, but you are right. Bob Roop was Mucka Singh, and Maniac Mark Lewin was the Purple Haze in that whole, and Nancy Benoit, Nancy Sullivan, whatever back then as woman.
Yeah. Yep.
But yes,
yeah,
Bob was the character Mucka Singh. Thanks for correcting me. That's why you're a historian, Professor. That's why this is your show. And I see the enforcer's got a comment that the
if
Sunset are down there.
Yeah,
transition.
if they want to connect, they're more than welcome to connect. Just hit my inbox and I'll send the link. If they want to join in and just make a comment or two regarding this Wednesday night, Kevin, if you're still with us.
Your thoughts on Anderson and Lucas Chase, because we didn't get your thoughts. And again, I know you're a historian. You just corrected me and made me look like
I think that this is going to be a true test for Lucas Chase. I mean, this guy, as Tommy said, is Mr. 2022. But he's out there killing it. He's like I said, he's making regular TV appearances on AEW. He's doing just a lot of really great work. But this could be a true test getting in the ring with a veteran like Andrew Anderson.
It really is going to be and again, we've run through a handful of matches right now that are really something, and seeing that they're down at the Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling Training Facility, the dojo right now down there in 662 Co Avenue in East Haven, run by the Paradise 4. The name on the marquee is Paul Roma. Okay, let's get into who. And again, he's a multi-athlete. I see him swimming. I see him playing golf. I see him shooting basketballs. Greg Baylor is kind of like a younger version of, I don't want to give big praise to Kurt Hennig, but that sort of athlete as far as he can do anything. And let's face it, he's green. He's still got work in the ring, but he's also got a set of cojones on him. Let's talk about Greg Baylor as a homegrown, perhaps rookie of the year for Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, and what's going to happen at Cadillac Ranch.
A lot of potential with that kid. I'm looking forward to that. Let me bring up the match card again. I just had it and misplaced it. Hang on. Yeah, Gregory Baylor. Where did I put it?
Well,
come on, big guy. He's taking on Samuel Radcliffe. That's somebody that I'm not familiar with.
I'm familiar with Samuel Radcliffe and some of the other guys that may not be well known here in this area, but they are in New England, all throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer Bo Douglas is
okay.
Cadillac Ranch and will be on FITE TV for Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling and bringing down some unbelievable grapplers with him that will be a part. And these are some of the announcements and maybe the 12 matches that the Enforcer's talking about that are going to be surprises dropped on there. But that's one of Bo Douglas's guys. He's coming down with a whole goon squad, Professor. We'll get through them. So I don't know a ton about them. I just know they're well-trained, well-versed in their tactics. If they're with Bo Douglas, then that means they ain't no joke. And Greg Baylor is perhaps rookie of the year. Talking Tommy, can you tell me about Baylor? Kind of
Baylor. You said it first. He's got quite the set because his first night in PAPW. He walked through that curtain at Alley Fights. He went right into the face of Dustin Waller and accepted the open challenge and challenged Flash for the Alley Fights championship. He was unsuccessful, but he certainly gave the Speed Sensation a run for his money. The Speed Sensation slowed down a little bit, I can tell you that. Greg Baylor is very, very talented. He's only 17 years old, Big Daddy, and he's a 7-month
power play. I saw a PWZ's video of Baylor in the scramble match in power play, and he held his own. So you are right on, Double T.
He did eliminate as well Sunset Steve Garcia. He did score the first pinfall in that match between Team Hispanic Mechanics and Team Miracle Generation. So he definitely is able to hold his own, and he is, like I said, he's not afraid of anything. He goes out there, he grabs that mic, he says what he wants to say, and, he has a lot of talent. He's got so much potential, and he's at 17 years old, 7 months already. So, he calls himself the 7-month veteran for a reason. Very talented, great physique. I'm really looking forward to what the future is going to hold for this kid.
A lot of potential there.
Say this, Professor. I'm sorry to cut you off on, because this is something I did not expect. Baylor is gaining valuable experience, and I say this about a lot of the guys that come through the hallowed halls of Paradise Valley Pro Wrestling. He's Roma trained, Mancini brained. That says enough right there. And then he's in the ring with champions like the current PAPW tag team champion, the former team España, the Hispanic Mechanics. I mean, you're learning. He's in the ring with the Miracle Generation, who are on the rise quicker than anybody in this Northeast area. So he's gaining valuable experience. So I agree with that, which leads me to Professor. And I wanted to bring this up earlier, but here is big news. Big news. And we need this more than anything in this country right now. The return of the former United States heavyweight champion, Sergeant Murray, a true American veteran here in Paradise Valley Pro Wrestling. Let him know what's going on with Sergeant Murray. Sarge, I hope you're watching. He's back, man.
One night only. Sarge is coming out of retirement for one night
Wow.
only.
I can hear the chants. I can hear it right now.
I'm looking forward to it. I think the fans are going to have a good time with this match. His opponent was listed here as RNE. I'm looking forward to seeing Sarge in the ring again.
Who's on that, Professor? Before we get you guys welcoming Sarge back for a one night only, one time only, and it couldn't happen at a better place than this legendary venue at the Cadillac Ranch. This gentleman, from what I understand, this is coming from the 4 sources. You know, I have so many sources that I have to outsource my sources. He is a masked grappler, formerly allegedly associated with the old CCP, the USSR. This is what I'm hearing. He's been specifically brought in during this whole conflict here in 2022. I don't want to get into that. It's another story for another time. But he is an unknown masked mercenary from the Soviet Union, is what I've been told by my sources. So this is going to be a true USA versus the USSR, back to Sheik, Volkov, Sergeant Slaughter, so on and so forth. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, your thoughts, because one of the most iconic moments I've ever saw and ever been a part of for Paradise Valley Pro Wrestling was at the Mohegan Sun Casino when Sergeant Slaughter teamed up with Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Zachariah Gibbs in a 6-man tag team match. Nobody gets the pop like Sergeant Murray. Professor, Talkin Tommy, take this one.
Good, Professor.
Tom. Man, I'm just excited to see Sarge back. You know, I'm hoping that he does well. I understand that he's been training, and he's looking forward to it.
That really is going to be something that I predict the Cadillac Ranch will literally, and I guess I could use this word, explode. And we also have in this hardcore night at Cadillac Ranch, Professor, I think you and Tommy both have the full card from the Battle Academy and the female event of the evening. The maniacal Skylar Gray takes on local area veteran who's been in the ring with every female star, top star that you could think of in this area, Big Juicy, and the maniacal Skylar Gray from the Battle Academy. Your thoughts, Tommy, Professor? I have it here.
Let me tell you, I'm very excited for this match because Skylar Gray, this past Saturday at Power Play, was the mystery partner for Team Battle, and she went toe-to-toe with Showtime Marcel Williams. And,
wow,
man, let me tell you, she is feisty. She is, she learns from the veteran himself in the Red Lion, Chris Battle. She has a great teacher, a great mentor, and very excited to see her go toe-to-toe with Big Juicy, who's one of the best female competitors in pro wrestling that I have gotten the chance to witness and call a match. Big Daddy, you and I got the chance to call her and Karen Bam Bam back at the JCC.
Double tough.
Late last year. I don't remember if that was Type 1 to None or if that was Under Pressure. But it was
I believe
one
it
of
was
those shows.
Type 1 to none, the incredible event that we throw every year for juvenile diabetes and smooth lens photography and Cesar Vasquez. CC. I mean, is there a better cause and better people than CC, who's someday going to get in the ring? I hope herself too. But you're right about that. That's the night that we called the match with Big G and Bam Bam. And
it's for the BST Women's Monarch title as well.
See, that's why you're here, Tommy. Professor, if I'm not mistaken, Skylar Gray's got a new look as well. Hello, silence? Is that anybody? Bueller? She has new ring gear. I saw your videos. She's out.
Okay, pardon me. My microphone was on mute. I apologize. Very professional here.
Bob Uecker said in Major League.
She's got new gear. She's looking good in the ring. She put up quite a fight in that power play match. I was sitting next to Tommy for that one, and yeah, man, she was quite impressive in that ring. She went.
I gotta tell you though, I felt so bad for her when her ribs got crushed from a big splash by the over 300-pounder Hakeem Ali. I was sitting next to the professor, and I was like, "Oh, I couldn't believe I said that for you, poor thing, Skylar Gray."
I mean, you can't tell me that she didn't instigate a little bit, so she might have deserved it.
She was threatened with a slap across the face by Nick Payne, and said, "I dare you, I dare you." She was asking for it, so she's definitely got her hands full though against Big Juicy this Wednesday night.
Well,
going to be exciting.
Quickly, just transition, because I saw it here in the lineup. We're talking about Skylar Gray, the maniacal one, and Big Juicy, which leads us into the Battle Academy. Hunter Tarker, Jake Lynn, Lorenzo. We have Chris Battle, the KG Red Lion, the former Alley Fights champion, the leader of the Battle Academy, will be taking on another gentleman again, coming down with Bo Douglas. These are double tough. I've got a little homework on Barnaby Combs. He will be on the red. Give me a little rundown of what happened at Power Play with Battle and what you see here against, for at least Paradise Alley, but not to the wrestling business, a relatively someone we don't have a lot of information except that he runs with Hall of Famer from New England, Hall of Famer Bo Douglas. And is it the Bell Club up there, the Bell Time Club?
Bell Time Club. Yep, it was started by him and Jason Rumble, etc.
Yep. Excuse me, guys.
Tommy's getting
bad boy.
Yeah, a recent guest here on the PWZ too, and we went 2 hours for quite the interesting conversation. We got to talk about a lot of great things in his career.
Jason Rumble, incredible talent, again under the guidance, tutelage of Tony Rumble, the Boston Bad Boy, the original, up there in the dirty water. Unbelievable. Jason has his own show. He has psychology. He has the look. He had the athletic ability. He had the connections. He ran on with NWA and the territory areas in NWA New England. And Jason Rumble, perhaps one of the best middleweights, cruiserweights that I've seen in this area in the last 2 to 3 decades. Just my opinion.
Yeah. No, man, he was an incredible talent. He worked, like you said, he was one of the promoters for NWA New England. He worked for the Savoldis and NWA On Fire as well. And he was, like you said, just an incredible talent. He did some.
Jason Rumble is a thinking man's grappler. Not only was he talented, and what he lacked in size, he made up for in ability, hustle, and psychology. That's what I know about the BBB. And your interview with him, Professor, was fantastic. I mean, you got to know him very well during that conversation. And again, all these guys up there that were trained by Killer Kowalski and trained by different schools that are out of that way, and now the Bell Time and Chaotic, and there's been so many different groups, and Brutal Bob Evans and people that have come out of that area. Trooper Gilmore runs a great organization now, and just Mike Hollow, Knuckles Nelson. I can go on for Eric Sprazer, on forever and ever. about the guys that come out of that area. So for the likes of the guys we've been talking about, besides Bo Douglas, a true veteran, we're talking about Barnaby Combs right now, who we don't know a lot about, going up against the Red Lion. Welcome back, Talkin, Tommy. Which
my apologies.
Speaking of which, before we move on to this match, I do want to say, seeing that Jason Rumble is a topic of discussion, that we are going to do a part 2 to that interview.
But I understand.
GOC is frozen again.
Again, I'm down in the bunker. What I was talking about, the guys, I'm sure to continue technical difficulties here in the bunker. We're talking about Barnaby Combs and Red Lion. Also, Buzz Bloodsaw, the American Gothic gone wrong, the former United States champion, who's also had Gemma at his side at ringside, is going to be taking on another one from the bell time and another qualified grappler. Again, Adam Applegate. And there's more to be announced. I don't know a lot about Applegate, but again, these guys are all trained. So you know that they're bringing credibility to the professional wrestling industry. Your thoughts on Bloodsaw?
Well, like you said, he's meeting somebody, Adam Applegate from Bo Douglas, trained by Bo Douglas. Bo Douglas, like you said, has that training, the Killer Kowalski style training. He learned there. He's like, it's no joke. You know what I'm saying? Like his training regime. And this is going to be an interesting matchup. And, Bloodsaw always puts on a good wrestling match, and he'll let you know in the middle of the match, throughout the match.
Wrestling. Talkin, Tommy, what can you tell us about not only what you know about the legendary trainers that I was talking about, from Killer Kowalski to Knuckles Nelson? Again, we talked about it to Tony Rumble while you were on the phone, to all the different guys, and now Bo Douglas bringing these guys down. What can you tell us from what you've seen just recently at Power Play and the former United States champion Buzz Bloodsaw before we get on to the next bout?
Well, with Bloodsaw, you add former United States champion, but you left out the one little part, former and still the longest reigning United States champ in PAPW history. But at this past Saturday at Power Play, he was in that match for a while, the Power Play elimination match. He was part of Team Tri-State Kings. Had a couple eliminations in the matchup, I believe, and was down to the final two. Him and Marcel Williams were the final two for their team. So he was really holding it down along with Showtime. Obviously, Battle Academy came away with the victory. But it was a great performance as always from Bloodsaw. Always a fan favorite.
And entertainer personified, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean the roar of the crowd when he comes out, it's just incredible because he's loud, he's very energetic.
He gets that. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but he gets that Kenny Roberts pop. I'm Rick James, bitch. Kenny Roberts.
Kenny, right? Yeah. Where is Kenny Roberts? When's he coming back? We saw him.
Kenny's always around, man. I'm sure he'll be there. Kenny Roberts, the flamboyant one. I sure do miss him.
He'll be there on Kenny Roberts time. And if he's watching, he knows exactly what I'm talking about.
And
a lot of people that are watching know what Kenny Roberts time is. Shows at 8 p.m. He's gonna show up at 11. He's Rick James, bitch.
Yeah, and I think we've discussed pretty much all the matches with the exception of.
Hold on there. What I wanted to get into again, we're talking about the legendary area of New England and Northeast and all the different trainers. Another guy that the fans may not know, but you're going to find out. We already talked about Adam Applegate and the tangent from Bo Douglas. We talked about Barnaby Combs. Here's another one. Aaron Katamia, who takes on the own Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling Amish Warrior, Zack Gibbs. That's another bout that's at Wild Wild Wrestling. Who else would fit in at a ranch better than Zack Gibbs? And Gibbs is in great shape. And I noticed how the strong style that he has turned to and how snug he is in the ring. This, I predict, could be a sleeper. Gibbs and Katamia.
Yeah, I don't know much about the Kanamiya guy. I've gotten to see Gibbs for the last 3 or so years, and he's improved greatly. And I'm looking forward to seeing this.
Well, that was an upset, I believe, at Power Play. Tommy, can you elaborate? Gibbs did go down this past weekend, but that was an upset. Gibbs is a former Intercontinental champion. He is, again, Roma-trained Mancini brained. And Gibbs, that was an upset, in my opinion. You were ringside. I only saw the video. The professor was ringside. Tell me what you think of Gibbs going up against a guy and a contingent that I keep saying is well-trained.
Well, he's well trained, but so is Zachariah Gibbs. And, he's definitely going to be coming in a Wild Wild Wrestling with I want to say maybe a chip on his shoulder. I mean, he's coming there with a little bit of a grudge. He's angry. He's the angry Irishman for a reason. He's looking for some redemption after taking that tough loss to Mark Alexander at Power Play. So he's going to be on the look for certainly for some redemption. He's going to take out that anger that was built up from Saturday's loss on his opponent this Wednesday night.
Professor, if there's another thing that I could throw out there that I had just found out within the last 24 to 48 hours myself too. Again, card subject to change. And I forgot to mention this earlier. We said Kevin Sullivan and travel plans and Bo Douglas coming down with his contingent. Another thing too, and I want to send out our well wishes and prayers to one Lou Jacobs. Now, Lou was supposed to be at Wild Wild Wrestling. Lou is down in the Lone Star State. He is down in Texas. He's helping out with his father. And I want to send well wishes. And our prayers and thoughts are certainly with a guy who's multi-talented, been in movies on Hallmark Channel, worked with XPW from the West Coast. We know about his lineage and what he was as Maxim Morozov. And just our well wishes. Lou Jacobs will not be at Wild Wild Wrestling because of family emergency basically down in Texas, and I was allowed to throw this out there for public knowledge. So I just want to send that to Lou from all of us here at the PWZ and PAPW.
Absolutely. Our thoughts are with you, Lou.
Absolutely. All love on this side, Lou.
Professor, is there anything that we didn't cover? I mean, we went through at least 10 matches. There's a couple of surprises. I know Mancini, the owner of Paradise Alley, has some huge announcements. It's going to be on FITE TV for only $9.99 this Wednesday night. An odd night, but a great night. It's usually karaoke, man. It doesn't get better. What else can you tell us about Wild Wild Wrestling? Did you get any insight from anyone? Any last-minute things? Tommy, you're in Mancini's ear more than anybody. Let me zip it, clip it.
What do you know, Tom?
What I know is that it's going to be a historic night for PAPW. For all you wrestling fans out there, Blood and Guts can wait. Okay?
DVR it. T-O.
Blood and Guts can wait. You just had Forbidden Door on Saturday, so Sunday rather, last night. So you can let Blood and Guts wait. You could hit the record button on your TV. You can watch the highlights later. Right now, the talk of the town in professional wrestling is Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, Wild Wild Wrestling going down this Wednesday night. So, because not only are you're going to see great action, but you're going to see two fine gentlemen call the action. Of course, well, Big Daddy, not as good looking as me, but But hey, we're still a good tag team, and we're gonna as Big Daddy would say, we're gonna tell it like it is. We're gonna call it straight down the middle. We're very excited for this event. You're also gonna see the voice of PAPW, the Dapper One, Mr. Matt DeCourt, the best damn ring announcer in the biz.
Well, let me second that for a quick second. Matt DeCourt, my former broadcast partner, he started off on the Bell. Tommy, much as yourself. He transitioned over to one of the best play-by-play guys we had at PAPW, and now he's one of the best ring announcers and the voices of the tri-state New England Northeast area. It's only a matter of time before Matt DeCourt is amongst the elite, a la your Rich Paladinos and Justin Roberts and so on and so forth, and he gets around. Matt DeCourt truly is the face of many other companies, but the face of Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. I couldn't agree more on that.
I mean, you said that the whole tri-state New England area. I mean, he's the voice of PAPW, the voice of TOS, the voice of BST, the voice of EPW, CPW. The list goes on, Big Daddy and Professor. The list goes on. He is the voice in so many different promotions here in New England. He's been branching out. It's been incredible. It's awesome. The fact that, his home base is here in Paradise Alley. It's a pleasure to work with him. Very bittersweet. The time when he unfortunately couldn't make a double shot weekend of Alley fights and passed the mic over to me. It was a very, very sweet moment in the ring between he and I.
You do it all, Tommy Sabin. You do it all, baby.
When he handed off the mic to me, and then, that big, that big embrace we had in the center of the ring, very special to me. Obviously, I wouldn't be where I am in terms of commentary and wrestling if it wasn't for the mentorship of you, Big Daddy. And when it comes to ring announcing, I wouldn't be where I am without the dapper one and Matt DeCourt, who unfortunately I know couldn't be here tonight due to work schedule. Because it would have been awesome if we had our old buddy Mr. DeCourt on with us. Of course, technically our colleague, Big Daddy, our announced team. So
I know it's the way about it. And let's not forget, Professor, because we're taking over here. We're over an hour now. The Professor and the PWZ podcast, the official home of Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, will be ringside. The Professor's at every show. He goes to every show. Again, there's no podcast. There's no filming. There's no one that puts together. That's why he has over 2,500 followers in a short amount of time for what the effort unrecognized that Rick Del Santo, the Professor, if you will, PWZ does at every show. Now, a big shout out because for FITE TV, we are fortunate and privileged.
Yeah, there he goes again. Crazy enough.
Got to get off the dial-up.
Okay. Let me finish again the technical difficulties. Professor, I apologize. Fans, I apologize.
You're good. You're good. It's you got to get off the dial-up, Big Daddy. Just repeat what you said.
It's not on dial-up. You know how much I paid for this? Anyway, that's what I was talking about. We're fortunate and blessed to be on FITE TV, the crew and what PWZ and what you do, Professor. Again, you'll be ringside. That's I want to give a big shout out to GoPro Wrestling, who will be the official crew for FITE TV. GoPro does all the video production and work for AEW and Creative Pro and all the different big organizations. So we're going to have an unbelievable crew there. And PWZ and Rick will be ringside as well. So it's going to be $9.99 on pay-per-view, FITE TV. It doesn't get much better. And the most important part of the PAPW family that we didn't talk about, and again, there's going to be announcements and surprises, but you two guys are in connection and with these two gentlemen personally, these 4 gentlemen, because you're there at every show. The Zebras of Justice, Senior Ref Bill Thompson, L Ref, Jay Mendez, when Q comes in, Miggy Cabrera, talk about the Zebras of Justice, and especially Senior Ref Bill Thompson and how they get around and what they bring in professionalism at PAPW before we, whatever Professor wants to get onto on this.
Bill is an outstanding referee. He's really killing it, getting out all over the Northeast. I've seen him on IWTV, Beyond, Limitless, Pro Wrestling Grind. Doing a great job out there. El Ref is just, he was away for a little bit. He had him and his wife had another child, but he's back and he's running shows. And who else is the third ref for tonight? Is there a third ref for this?
My buddy El Ref, Jay Mendez, the legendary.
Okay.
Jay Mendez, and of course, the badass of referees. Q Nation is out there. He's all over. got the dome piece like yourself, and Miggy has been in there for many things too. And Tommy, you know the Zebras of Justice. Sing the praises of the boys. I miss Blue Shoes too, Gina.
Well, I do enjoy watching the Zebras of Justice at work. I will say though, don't give too much praise to that man, senior official Bill Thompson, one of the most unprofessional referees in the business. I saw
this
that
is
man,
news to me. What's going on?
I saw that man. I saw that man last week at Rise of the Empire for EPW with his shirt untucked. An unprofessional referee right there. You saw it first. Talking Tommy. Hey, I got a set of glass. I got 4 eyes here, ladies and gentlemen. I saw it firsthand. Ref Bill Thompson, the most unprofessional there is in the business. You heard it here first. That's Big Daddy. This is
I gotta disagree on that.
See, no. This is what happens, Big Daddy. This is what happens when you learn from the GOC. You tell it like it is. You say that to say this, or as my old man would say, let me say this about that. But Talking Tommy, I talk the talk. I do what I want because I'm Talking Tommy. No one talks like Talking Tommy, and I say that. Bill Thompson, I got a bone to pick with you, my friend. You're a good referee. I'll give you that. You're a good referee. You earned the title senior official, but you got some cleaning up to do. Tuck that shirt in and be more professional.
Wow.
It's got something, Professor, at Wild Wild Wrestling. We're only 2 nights away. I'm looking forward to it, Professor. What else can you lay on us? I know we don't want to go too long. We're over an hour and 5 minutes. You go all night.
I don't know about that. It all depends on the event that we're covering. But I want to thank you guys for joining us, joining me as always. It's always a pleasure to have the GOC and have Talking Tommy on here, especially when we're pushing out the product and trying to get more attention on Paradise Alley and promoting the product. I really appreciate you guys coming in. I want to thank everybody that joined in on the chat. Do you guys have anything you want to follow it up with before we get out of here?
Yeah, real quick.
Go ahead.
Just for the PAPW fans, obviously, after this Wednesday night, you don't have to look too much far ahead because next Friday night, July the 8th, we'll be back at the PAPW training facility, 662 Cole Avenue, East Haven, Connecticut, for another edition of Friday Night Alley Fights where so far only one match has been announced, but it has been a huge one, the main event for Alley Fights next weekend, as we're going to see Showtime Marcel Williams challenge the Cure Lucas Chase for the Intercontinental Championship, and it'll be in a 30-minute Ironman match. So after Wild Wild Wrestling, we've got another banger of a show next Friday, July the 8th, for Alley Fights.
I'm praying for those guys on a hot summer night in that room. I'm just letting you know. Going a 30-minute Ironman match. It's going to be hot as fuck in there. Pardon my language.
Well, Professor, the only thing that I want to say, parting off again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. It'll always be this way at Chaos Corner. Thank you, Professor, and for what you do and having me on here. I can't stress enough to the fans out there and on FITE TV for only $9.99. Go out and buy this. It's a great venue, entertainment. It's going to be hardcore. You're going to have everything from young lions to legends to current stars in this business and some household names and surprises. It's going to be like none other legendary venue. It's worth the price of admission. It's worth to be there live. It's like being in Gillies in Texas and our own little space right here. It really is an iconic venue. So, follow me on all social media platforms. You know what they are, the Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy. And I appreciate it and what you do, Professor, for this product and in particular, Paradise Alley. I can't stress enough, come out and support independent pro wrestling. That's what it's all about.
Correct. Support independent wrestling, and I will see you Wednesday night. Make sure you're in the room. Come by and say hello. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Before we get off air, I cut you off on your own show again. Go out and get this week's edition, just released today. You'll see the picture from the Old Quest facility.
Big Daddy.
You can't
Where'd he
make it
go?
up. You can't make it up. I'll get now. Go out and get the New York Magazine article. Rita Marie, first female WWF referee. It's from a long time ago. It's out there for public consumption. It's all been public knowledge. I think you'll find it interesting. New York Magazine. Go out and pick up a copy and read, and you'll recognize the owner of Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling.
And of course, as that situation comes out and the whole, all the other world in WWE comes out, we'll be talking about it here. But for now, I want to say, everybody, thank you, and we'll see you real soon.